As the saying goes in the real estate business, location, location, location. The same could be said for the Rayovac FLW Series Championship on Wheeler Lake. That's because the top three pros, including leader Richard Peak, have all homed in on a key piece of water in Wheeler Lake that is producing the bigger weights. Perhaps it was just a prefrontal feed bag today, but consider that three 17-pound plus bags all came from one area that involves timing the shad bite.
Well, let's see what you got. We're looking right now, you're looking for 9.9. Let's see if we can squeak out 9 pounds, 9 ounces for Richard Peak. His weight, a little more than that, 18 pounds, 5 ounces, all the way to first place, 31 pounds, 4 ounces.
Richard, we got a little thing on tour called Baby Power. Well, it seems like whenever somebody's wife's about to have a baby, it brings special luck, and it's kind of like you're on that kind of roll this week. Tell us, you almost didn't even come to this event.
No, I was pretty much a phone call away from not even coming, but stuck it out and, came on over, and I'm pretty glad I did.
So any baby yet?
Not yet. If we've been told if she doesn't have her this weekend, though, they're going to induce her Monday morning. So it's just a day or two away either way.
Tell us a little bit about the fishing. Much better day today than yesterday. In fact, to this point in the weigh-in, biggest stringer of the tournament we've seen so far. The difference, what happened?
I've said it all week. It's all about timing right now. This part of the time of the year and the areas I'm fishing. Yesterday I had a good flurry, but it probably wasn't until 1 o'clock, and I caught 3 of my fish I weighed in that window. Today it happened about 10 o'clock and was over by 11. And the weight got better today, but as far as the numbers, yesterday was a better day. I caught a few more keepers yesterday, but today this wind has got up after lunch, and I don't even know if some of the places I'm fishing I'll even be able to fish, because the waves are going to be 2-footers rolling through there, and there's only 4 foot of water to start with, so it's going to be interesting.
Mud could be an issue.
Yeah, mud. Some of the places I fished have had mud in them, and that doesn't seem to hurt it. But I think that depth, that falling water, is what hurt a lot of my areas that I was wanting to fish this week. But if it don't get too rough in the morning, maybe I can get that window early in the day and still catch a few fish.
You said timing. Is it a timing of current? Is it a timing of weather? Is it a timing of bait movement? I mean, what's the timing issue?
There's so much shad out here on this lake right now. Their bait is everywhere, and I think you've kind of got to have a little combination of everything. You've got to have just the right amount of wind pushing up on some of these banks. You've got to have the right amount of bait up there, and there'll be a school of fish that'll pull up and try and feed. And if you're there at the right time, you're going to be able to catch a few of them. So it's a little combination of everything.
In your flurries, like how many can you catch at one time?
I think I caught 4 in 6 throws today. So that was pretty amazing.
And then what happened, like in your mind, where do those fish go when the flurry's over with?
The places I'm keying on are got a lot of laydowns, and there's a lot of structure for them to get in. I haven't really caught them out of the structure so much as I've caught them around the structure, and that structure's it's close to creek channels and close to bends, so I think they just slide right off out in the creek and suspend, and when they get ready to feed and want to pull up, they pull up there and eat. If you're there at the right time, I think you can catch a few of them. So we'll see. It's worked so far.
Sounds good. Come Monday, you might be needing some diapers, so maybe a win here would help.
A top 10 would help. Anything would help with that. I've heard girls are pretty expensive.
Chris, we've seen an 18.5 weighed in. I think you had 18.5, 2 of the biggest stringers of the day of the tournament coming in. Tell me what the difference is between yesterday and today.
Well, probably the biggest difference was location. I had two areas I wanted to fish, and one's way up the river, a long way off, and the other one's up another river. And I just picked the wrong one.
On day one, you picked the wrong place.
Yeah, on day one, I picked the wrong place. I caught some big fish in there in practice, and I really thought I could catch some big ones. And I knew I had it more to myself. It was less pressure, but all we caught was little ones. And so I went back to my secondary place. And
bingo.
Should have went there the first day.
Are you repeating on some places? I'm already hearing about guys that say they can go back over certain pieces of structure, certain pieces of cover, and it's a timing issue. Trying to get the timing right on going back on some of that stuff that's replenishing.
Yeah, that's right. They're current places, and they're fish are in there feeding on shad, and you get the bait in there just right, and you catch them. I mean, you can fish down a little stretch, turn around, go back and catch them right behind yourself, or catch them behind other guys. It's just you know, a timing thing, like you say, with the bait.
As you can see, the weather here has deteriorated since weigh-ins began. I think the temperature's dropped 15 degrees since weigh-in started. How you feel about that tomorrow?
I don't like it a bit. You got to be out there too. I don't. I'm Southern boy. I don't like the cold.
You have to slow that bait down a little bit tomorrow, you think?
Probably. I may have to flip some too. Today was a perfect day for what I was doing with spinner baiting, and tomorrow I may have to slow down and flip. Or this time of year, sometimes they just keep biting them moving baits. I mean, they're eating shad, and I don't think it's gonna get cold enough to hurt them that bad.
Zack, yesterday, 31st place. Today, you're currently in the lead. Shows what can happen here on Wheeler Lake when you catch a 17-pound bag. What was the difference between yesterday and today?
The difference between yesterday and today for me was they just ate. I found fish the last day of practice, and I probably had 17 or 18 pounds, and I left the area. I was real confident going into it yesterday, but the quality wasn't there. I caught a ton of fish, but they were all, just cookie cutters. Today I went back there, and it was cloudy during practice. Today it was cloudy again, so I had a feeling they would bite, and they did. Should have had a little more weight than what I had, but that's how it goes.
Did you make a water change of any type?
I did go to one area that there was a ton of boats running by. They just kept running by it back and forth. I thought, maybe let's go back there, check it out, fish some unfished water. And first cast back in there, I caught a 4-pounder. And about 5 casts later, I caught another good one. So I'm going to go back. If I make it to tomorrow, I'm going to go back and do it again.
Ever been to Wheeler Lake before?
Never been here before. I've been to Wilson, Pickwick, and up and down this place, but I've never been to Wheeler.
Any way you're fishing right now that's similar to the way you would fish back home? Have you brought any knowledge from home to this lake and applied it?
Absolutely. If I were back home, I would be on Grand Lake throwing a spinnerbait. Same situation. Where I'm fishing at looks identical to back home. So basically, I'm trying to fish like I'm back home, and it's kind of coming together.
We got a 20-degree temperature drop coming for tomorrow, but where you're from, I guess that's not that big of a deal.
Not when you're from Oklahoma. It can be 70 degrees and be 20 an hour. But I think they'll still bite tomorrow, even with it getting cold.
Got a lot of wind coming tomorrow. Are you protected where you're fishing?
I am protected. I'm in a little small area. I hardly had any wind on me today until the run back.
Last question. Fish replenishing for you in terms of, can you go back to the same objects and catch fish off of them?
I feel like I can. Yesterday, the fish they're just staging on little key areas, and today I went back, hit the same areas, and the quality fish were there versus yesterday. So the way it's been, they should be there again tomorrow.
It's turning into a grinders tournament here at Wheeler, and whenever you talk grinding, you talk Todd, Auten. You always show up when it's just hanging in there at 13, 14 pounds a day. It continues to work for you.
Well, it's tough conditions this time of year. For me, it seems like I can run around and, junk fish. And that's the way I like to fish, and it suits my style. Throwing the baits I like to throw, catch a lot of fish. So we caught a lot of keepers today, and, the weather getting cooler and all, I don't know, it's affecting a lot of guys, but I just hope it don't affect me too much.
I had you figured for somebody that was crawling in the back end of one of these creeks, but I'm learning you're not so much on the back end of the creek program, running a lot of shallow water, but it's not about creek ditches for you.
Right. I mean, there's bait everywhere, and I'm just fishing a lot of, structure stuff, targets, just keeping my bait wet, basically, and not running around a whole lot, but just hitting little key places, but trying to stay in the same area, Seems like fish are using the same, say, docks or logs that they have all week, and you can just go back to them every once in a while and catch one. But it's a grind.
So they replenish. I mean, you've caught multiple fish off the same log or dock, the same cast, more or less.
Yeah. There's a little small pocket, for instance, yesterday. We went in and there was a boat. There's been boats in there all day. And we went in there and caught 2, and we went back in there later and caught 5. Wow. So, the pressure hadn't seemed to got to them, and the fish are moving around with the bait. So there's new fish coming in all the time.
Well, it looks like we'll have about a 20-degree temperature drop for tomorrow. What do you think?
I think I better put my long johns on tomorrow. It's going to be cold.
George, leading yesterday, slipped off the pace just a bit today. Are you a little worried you might be eating them up back there in that creek, or you got plenty left?
No, I didn't catch very many, so I don't think I beat them up. I just think I need the sunshine. When it gets cloudy like this, I think they're roaming. And I just couldn't pinpoint where they were. The sun come out for about an hour. I probably had 15 to 20 bites, but I was just in the wrong area. They were small. So with the sun tomorrow, I should be able to catch them.
Look like today going old school with the spinnerbait a little bit. The big old-fashioned double willow leaf spinnerbait.
Yeah, I'm throwing a 3/4 ounce War Eagle. It was kind of funny. I had it tied on for the lake for the deep water, and I was up there fishing with the jig, flipping like I like to do. And I come across a place where there are no laydowns, so I picked it up. I looked down and said, I'll throw that. And I caught a good one, and I haven't put it down since.
Tomorrow, you said something about possibly having a place that you haven't fished yet that you've been waiting to kind of break your way into. Have you accessed that and sampled the goods there yet, or are you still waiting for tomorrow?
No, I'm going to fish my areas I've been fishing because it's a big gamble going there, especially the water dropped a little. But I'm going to give it a couple hours where I've been fishing, since I'll be the only one up there. And if I don't catch them, then yeah, I'm going to gamble and run up in there. And if I get stuck, then somebody will just have to come get me.
It's all or nothing.
That's right. I want to be in the top 5 to be sure that I'm going to make the cup. But I'm going to look at the top 10, see who's from the southeast. And if there's only one other guy, I don't know. But if there's nobody, then I'm going to gamble and try to win because, I'll guaranteed a spot in the cup. So I came here wanting to go to the cup. That's the most important thing.
Okay. All right. Got you on that. Tomorrow you will have a kind of a hairy boat ride where you're going, not just once you get there in terms of running stumps and everything like that, but just getting there in this wind is going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. I came back in it today, and I didn't really leave enough time, so I had to really push it. I did do some damage to the trolling motor and to myself, but tomorrow I'll leave a little more time and I'm going to get there. It just might take longer.
But you'll have it to yourself when you get there. I know you've been sharing that place with a couple other guys, and they're gone.
Yes, yeah, they're gone. And I basically probably am just going to fish the entire creek. I'm going to start at one end, put the trolling motor down, and fish where I didn't get bites, just fish it all. I'm going to try to just make a day of it and let it fall where it will.